If you're making cider or beer, you're also making ethanol. The question is, how much? Because whether you're a small batch craft producer or a major commercial brand, your ethanol levels define the final product and how it's regulated. It affects your flavor, your quality, and your legal standing. In this video, we're going to show you how ethanol analysis works using GC-FID. That's gas chromatography with flame ionization detection. It's a method that sounds way more complicated than it actually is. We'll break it down step by step, show you what the process looks like in practice, and explain how this kind of testing can help you make better beer or cider. It'll help you avoid compliance issues and help you understand your products more clearly. Ethanol analysis is exactly what it sounds like, measuring the alcohol content in your beer, cider, or any brewed product. But it's also about understanding how fermentation is progressing, identifying batch-to-batch variations, and making sure that your finished product matches what's on the label. Because whether you're packaging cans for a supermarket, bottling small runs for local pubs, or producing alcohol-free products that must legally stay below a set limit, knowing your ethanol levels is fundamental to maintaining trust, quality, and legal compliance. So why does this kind of testing really matter? Well, first, it's legal limits. Alcohol content needs to stay within specific boundaries, especially for labeled ABVs or low alcohol claims. If your label says 5% ABV and it's actually 6.2, that's a problem. Regulators check this, and being off even slightly can lead to relabeling, fines, or worse. Second, consistency. Whether it's your core range or a seasonal release, your customers expect each batch to taste and perform the same. Tracking ethanol helps you maintain a reliable, repeatable process and spot unwanted variations before they become a problem. Even small changes in the ethanol content can subtly alter the flavor and mouthfeel, affecting the overall drinking experience and customer satisfaction. And the third reason, quality. A sudden change in alcohol content often signals a problem. It could be a fermentation issue, a packaging fault, or even contamination. All of these can affect the integrity of your product. Ethanol is one of the most sensitive indicators you've got. When levels shift unexpectedly, it's a sign to stop and investigate before the problem reaches the shelf or the customer. So how do you properly measure ethanol anyways? That's where GC-FID comes in. It stands for gas chromatography with flame ionization detection. It's a mouthful, yes, but the idea behind it is very straightforward. Once it's running, the process is actually really simple to work with. A small sample from your beer, cider, or other brewed product goes into a vial and is injected into the GC system. Inside, it's instantly vaporized and carried by an inert gas, usually helium or nitrogen, and carried through a long, narrow column coated with a stationary phase. This stationary phase is a thin layer of chemical material that sticks to some compounds more than others. The more a compound interacts with it, the slower it moves. The less it interacts, the faster it comes out. And that's how the system pulls apart a complex sample, by separating each compound based on how long it takes to travel through the column. Ethanol, being relatively volatile, comes out early. As it exits the column, it enters a chamber with a tiny hydrogen flame. When the ethanol burns, it creates positively charged ions. These ions generate an electrical signal, and that's picked up by the detector. The size of that signal directly relates to how much ethanol was in the sample. So how does this actually fit into your day-to-day? If you're running a brewery, large or small, integrating GC testing doesn't mean slowing everything down. It can become a part of your regular workflow, like checking pH or gravity. You might run a test mid-fermentation to track progress, or just before packaging to confirm the final ABV. Some brewers test every batch as part of their routine checks. Others use it more selectively to investigate off flavors or double-check the alcohol level in a new recipe, or verify that an alcohol-free brew stays under the legal limit. The flexibility means it can support both daily operations and one-off investigations without becoming a bottleneck. Once you're set up, you get fast, reliable answers. No outsourcing, no waiting for a lab. For small producers, this kind of testing helps you back up your label claims, especially if you're scaling up, going into retail, or trying to build trust with a new distribution partner. Having concrete ethanol data shows that you're serious about quality and compliance. For larger producers, it's part of a wider quality control program, helping you flag outliers, avoid reworks, meet regulatory checks, and maintain the consistency expected at scale. It also gives your team a clearer picture on what's happening in your process, so you're not relying on assumptions when something feels off. So whether you're chasing higher accuracy, solving a problem, or just keeping your products on track, ethanol testing gives you a tool that fits into both the day-to-day and the bigger picture. At Ellutia, we've developed our 200 series GC specifically for situations like this, where fast, reliable ethanol testing needs to fit into real-world brewery workflows. It's compact, easy to use, and designed for small-scale or in-house lab environments, which means you don't need to outsource all your testing. Bringing your testing in-house changes how you work. It gives you faster access to results, more control over your process, and the ability to respond in real time. With fast, reliable data on hand, you can make decisions quicker, catch issues earlier, and keep your process tighter from batch to batch. So that's ethanol analysis, what it is, how it works, and why it matters for brewers and producers. If you've got questions, leave them in the comments below. You'll find more info and links in the description. And if you found this helpful and useful, please give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss anything in the future. Thank you for watching.